Hey everybody, Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Sony HVLF60M. This is an external flash that works with Sony's multi-interface shoe, so if you have something like the brand new A7 or A7R, it is compatible with those cameras, as well as a variety of alpha full frame as well as aps-c based cameras like the A99, A77 flagship models that are a little bit older now, as is this flash. It's been around since 2012, and it's still their flagship flash, priced at $549.99. I did pick it up in the kit bundle that Sony's running the promo on right now with the A7 or A7R. Essentially, for an additional $100, you're able to buy this in that bundle. So pretty solid savings if you do require a flash like this, and even if you don't for that matter, because it's giving you some great hardware at a very low cost. In terms of what you're getting, this is a pro quality flash as well as video light. You can notice right there on the packaging, it does detail the actual specifics of the potency of the light, and in terms of the ability, it has that quick shift bounce feature built in, and there is an entire menu as well as LED readout on the back of this flash to really fine-tune and control the intensity, as well as a whole host of different features and settings for the flash, as you would expect from a flash in this caliber as well as price range. It also can operate freestanding away from the device, but that requires an infrared pairing essentially, or line of sight with the device that will work directly with it. In terms of what comes in the box, you can see right there it comes with its own carry pouch, as well as the flash itself, which has built-in diffusers for both the traditional flash as well as the LED video light, which is on the underbelly essentially, or underneath the actual flash itself. The swivel mount on this and everything really is what makes this a great device, and the fact that it can mount on any Sony camera, some true standardization here, is a valuable thing. I mean, this will work on my RX1, not just my A7 or A7R. And then essentially the freestand mount that I was mentioning before, some adapters in case you're using a Sony camera that has the Minolta hot shoe rather than the current multi-interface. So you'll still be able to use it, so don't worry, as well as some carrying pouches. But other than that, let me get this out of the box. They do list essentially right here compatible camera types, and basically all of them are alpha. And this is part of the reason we've seen this consolidation over to alpha and CyberShot, is because really Sony wants customers to understand what accessories work with what cameras, and also what CyberShot and alpha represent independently of one another in terms of, you know, what photographic market they're after. So with that out of the way, let's get the HVLF60M out of the box. And in terms of quality, again, this has been on the market a while. I haven't used it, so I can't speak from personal experience yet, but reviews are relatively solid. It has aged, but still is relatively competent. Expensive, yes, but the feature set is rich. So let's first get the flash out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at what else comes in here. See if I can get this carry pouch open for what I believe is the accessory mount. Yep. So if you have a Minolta shoe, that's your adapter. Handy for customers of Sony's cameras of yesteryear. Some paperwork, which I'm not even going to pull out. Let's see, nothing over there. And I don't believe there's anything else down there, but I'm going to check because, oh, nope, there is. I spoke too soon. Sometimes they really tuck these things away. Well, we've got another carry pouch here for diffuser for the flash. So basically Sony outfitting you with everything that you're going to need for the F60M. And other than that, the only other thing left is paperwork, so let's get to the flash itself. Got some beautiful plastic wrap here, and a nylon carry case that, you know, seems pretty basic. I mean, nothing impressive. A little bit of padding up here at top, but nothing overly special, but still good to see a case. Not that that's not basic for something like this. But more importantly, let's get to this beast. A little more plastic. Who doesn't love a little bit more plastic? And then there we have it. So there's your infrared communication array there that's going to allow that independent functionality I was talking about, but that's going to require another flash mounted on your camera to actually communicate, or a remote, in terms of functionality. We've got access right here to the battery bay, and I'm not sure exactly what battery life is going to look like. It takes 4 batteries, you may have noticed there, but from what I have read online, you're looking at roughly somewhere between 300 and 400 shots, depending on the intensity that you go with on the flash. And then here you can see a little insert, essentially letting you know how to actually mount the flash on your camera of choice, because of course the release and lock system is critical to customers actually breaking this flash inadvertently, which would be a tragedy, to say the least, considering the cost, and yeah, just extraordinary disappointment if it's your first time mounting this and then you break it because you didn't properly actually lock it in place. So you can see release on the left, lock on the right, fairly straightforward. And there is a cap on here because this is that multi-interface shoe, which works with the A7 I have right here. Let me go ahead and pop off the multi-interface shoe for that, so you can see what it looks like mounted on there. And of course it's going to look lopsided because this is a flash really designed for digital SLRs. I'm going to go ahead and just peel this back, and before I mount it, give you a view of that rear LCD readout. But you can see we've got essentially what you would expect on a pro grade flash: test button, mode button, function menu, backlight, your on-off switch, level control. This will take you through menus as well as allow you to select. I'll eventually get to all of these things. And then you have the ability, of course, to rotate this flash if you're shooting in portrait, get the exact sort of bounce and control that you want from it, no matter how it's mounted on your camera, clearly, since not every mount is in the same place, but for the most part they are all center mounted. You also have flexibility in the actual light here. This is the video light, as I mentioned before. You've got a button there dedicated to turn that on and off, and then the diffuser that slides up in case you actually don't want to use it. Here we've got some built-in filters here as well. So Sony really bringing everything together quite nicely. And the range of motion here, again, what you'd expect. So this really is just replacing the previous generation, which it improves on for the most part in just about every area. I have read some things about overheating issues. I'll let all of you know if that's something I do end up encountering, but just nice to see a quality flash basically bundled almost for free, I would say, with some of Sony's highest end cameras, which makes sense because, after all, this isn't something that just about everybody's going to be picking up, and Sony's been making them for several years now. It's since 2012, so I can imagine they've got quite a few of these stockpiled. And Sony cameras, as well as products like this, especially accessories that are high-end, aimed at the professional market, I was putting that on, forgot I was going to mount it on the A7, generally don't see too much softness in pricing. So that's one of the reasons here that the only time you really see a deal on this is when it's actually bundled. Make sure I have that in the release position. When it's actually bundled, as I mentioned before, with something like a professional series or at least digital SLR-like body. So let me go ahead and bring the flash down. And there you have it, attached to the Sony A7. And again, this works with pretty much any multi-interface shoe enabled CyberShot or Alpha camera, because remember the RX1, RX100 Mark II, RX10, even though those are CyberShot cameras, even the HX50V, as well as the 400V now coming out, as well as the HX50V successor, they all have multi-interface shoe compatibility. Not that you'd really want to throw something like this on there, but with a full-frame camera, even in the very small and mild form factor that the A7 and A7R provide, you still have image quality that in many cases does demand this sort of performance. So it makes sense. Does it feel a little bit odd in use? Yeah, there's no question about it. But if you're shooting in portrait and have the vertical grip on, you know, it's a great piece of equipment, a great add-on. Highly recommend it if you're in the market right now for the A7 or A7R and plan to go with one of the aforementioned kit options with the lens discount. So, of course, I'll be delivering further impressions of this pro-grade flash, and look forward to using it on my A7 and A7R. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. And of course, as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.